My name is Layla Harrison. I'm 24 years old, and I never believed in destiny. I was always the logical girl, the scientific one, the rational one. Ancient artifacts were my world. Concrete evidence, documented history, verifiable facts, prophecies, legends, destined soulmates, romantic nonsense for people with nothing better to do. At least that's what I thought. Before meeting Khalid al-Rashid, my life made sense. I controlled my choices, my future, my heart. After him, I discovered there are forces in the universe that can't be explained by logic, that some connections transcend reason. He looked at me once and declared I was his, that he'd waited for me his entire life, that it was written in the stars, carved in ancient prophecies, destined since before we were born. I laughed in his face. And then I spent the following months desperately trying to prove him wrong, trying to deny the impossible attraction I felt, trying to ignore how my heart recognized his, as if we'd known each other in 1,000 previous lives. This is the story of how I fought against destiny, and how it won anyway, because some things simply are, no matter how hard you try to fight them. And Khalid al-Rashid, he always knew that. The Zaran Desert stretched endless under the scorching sun when I arrived. Golden sand as far as the eye could see, rolling dunes like an ocean frozen in time. And in the center of it all, the palace, a magnificent structure of white stone and golden domes that gleamed like a mirage. I was there for work. An important archaeological discovery had been made on the Sheikh's lands, and my expertise in ancient civilizations was needed. Simple, professional. At least that's what I thought. I was led to the main hall, an opulent space with silk fabrics in desert colors, Persian rugs, marble fountains. Luxury in every detail, but with an elegance that bordered on sacred. And then he walked in. Khalid al-Rashid had the kind of presence that made the air vibrate differently. Tall, easily over 6 feet, broad shoulders beneath traditional white and gold robes that enhanced his bronzed skin. Black hair, eyes the color of dark amber, intense, penetrating, ancient in a way that had nothing to do with age. Strong jaw, sensual lips, an aura of absolute power. But it was when our eyes met that the world stopped. His eyes widened. He became completely still, as if he'd been shocked. And then, slowly, a smile appeared on his lips. Reverent, triumphant, absolutely certain. You. His voice was deep, velvety, with an accent that made every word sound like poetry. Finally. I frowned. Excuse me? He approached with measured steps, and I felt my heart race dangerously. There was something in the way he looked at me, as if he knew me, as if he'd waited for me his entire life. Your name? He asked, stopping inches from me. Layla Harrison, archaeologist. I'm here to... Layla. He repeated my name like a prayer, and something in my chest tightened. Moon, in Arabic. Appropriate. Look, Mr. al-Rashid. Khalid. He corrected, those amber eyes burning into mine. And you're here because you were destined to be. I blinked. Destined? I'm here because your team requested a specialist in... May I see your left hand? The question caught me off guard. What? Why? Please. There was an urgency in his voice that made me obey without thinking. I extended my left hand, and he held it with a reverence that made my skin crawl. His fingers were warm, rough, strong, and when he turned my hand, exposing my wrist, I saw his face light up. There, on the inside of my wrist, was the birthmark I'd had forever, small, shaped like a crescent moon. Impossible, he whispered, fingers tracing the mark with a delicacy that contrasted with the intensity in his eyes. The prophecy. It's true. I pulled my hand back. What prophecy? What are you talking about? He looked at me with an intensity that stole my breath. There's a legend in my family, passed down through generations. It says the ruler of Zeran will recognize his soulmate by a mark, a crescent moon on her left wrist. That when he found her, he would know immediately she was made for him, destined since before time. My heart raced, but I forced a laugh. You can't be serious. It's absurd. Millions of people have birthmarks. Not like this one. His eyes didn't leave mine. Not in the right place. Not on the right person. He took a step closer, and I felt the heat radiating from him. Do you feel it, Layla? The connection between us? As if we've known each other for 1,000 years? I felt it. God, how I felt it. But this was ridiculous. I need to go. I stepped back. I need to see the artifacts, start the work. You'll stay at the palace. He declared. It wasn't a request. Under my protection, under my care. I can stay at a hotel. You'll stay here. His voice was soft, but absolutely firm. Because you're mine. And I protect what's mine. I am not yours, I protested, even as my heart beat wildly. That smile returned, confident, patient, as if he knew something I didn't. You don't believe it yet. That's okay. He leaned in, and I felt his warm breath against my ear. But you will, Yaruhi, because destiny can't be denied. And you were made for me, just as I was made for you. Before I could respond, he stepped away, calling his assistants to settle me into the guest quarters. But his words echoed in my mind. And the worst part? A treacherous part of me wanted to believe him. The following days were a constant battle between my logic and my feelings. Khalid gave me no space. He appeared during my excavations, watching me work with those intense eyes. He sent elaborate meals to my room. Desert flowers appeared on my desk every morning. You need to stop this, I said one afternoon, finding him waiting at the archaeological site's exit. Stop what? He smiled, extending a bottle of cold water. Taking care of what's mine. I am not yours. You keep saying that. He approached, and my heart raced. But your body says otherwise. Your heart says otherwise. You're arrogant. I'm confident. He corrected, fingers lightly brushing my face, moving sand from my hair. That simple touch sent electricity through my entire body. There's a difference, and I know what I feel. I know what I see in your eyes when you look at me. Irritation? I tried to sound sarcastic, but my voice came out hoarse. He laughed, a rich, warm sound that melted something inside me. Desire, recognition, fear of how strong this is between us. His eyes pierced mine. But you don't need to be afraid, Layla. Never of me. That night, he invited me to dinner. Private dinner, he specified. Just the two of us. I want to know you, the woman behind the scientist. I should have refused, but there was something in his eyes, a vulnerability behind all that certainty, that made me agree. Dinner was prepared on his private terrace, under an impossibly beautiful starry sky. Soft carpets, silk cushions, scented candles, soft music in the background. Romantic on a level that should be illegal. You did all this? I asked, trying not to seem impressed. Every detail. He poured wine for us. Because you deserve to be courted properly. Courted? That's so old-fashioned. I'm a man of traditions. He smiled. But that doesn't mean I don't value a modern, independent, brilliant woman. In fact, his eyes sparkled. That fascinates me even more. Against all logic, I found myself relaxing. Conversation flowed naturally. He asked about my work, my dreams, my family. He listened with genuine attention, asked intelligent questions, looked at me as if every word was precious. And your family? I asked, Do your parents support this? Belief in prophecies? Something sad crossed his face. My parents died when I was 20. My father made me promise on his deathbed that I would wait for the woman of the prophecy. That I wouldn't marry for convenience, for politics. That I would wait for her. For you. My heart tightened. Khalid. 15 years, Layla. His voice was hoarse. 15 years waiting. Refusing arranged marriages, ignoring political pressures, keeping faith in something many said was just legend. He leaned forward, taking my hand. And then you appear. With the mark. With the eyes I've seen in my dreams for years. And I just knew. You can't know something like that. I protested weakly. Not that fast. You can when it's destiny. He kissed my fingers one by one, eyes fixed on mine. When your soul recognizes its other half. I tried to pull my hand back, but he held firm, not with force, but with determination. Let me show you something. He guided me to the terrace's edge. Down below, the desert stretched endlessly under the moonlight, and in the sky, stars, millions of them, shining with impossible intensity. See that constellation? He pointed, standing behind me, so close I felt his heat. My father showed me when I was 7. Said that when I found my soulmate, the stars would shine brighter, that the desert would sing, that I would just know. And you think you know. My voice was barely a whisper. I don't think. His arms wrapped around me gently, and I allowed myself to relax against him. I know. With every fiber of my being, I know. I turned in his arms, and suddenly we were inches apart. Those amber eyes burning into mine, flames dancing in their depths. What if you're wrong? I whispered. What if it's just physical attraction? He smiled, thumb caressing my cheek. Then it would be the most intense physical attraction that's ever existed. He leaned closer, lips almost touching mine. But it's not just that, Yerui, and you know it. Don't kiss me, I said, but I didn't pull away. Not yet. He agreed, resting his forehead against mine. When I kiss you, it'll be because you asked me to, because you accepted what we are. And then he stepped away, leaving me trembling and completely lost. That night, I dreamed of amber eyes and a destiny I didn't want to accept, but that my heart had already chosen. 2 weeks in the desert and I was losing the battle against my own feelings. Khalid was everywhere, not in a suffocating way. He respected my workspace, my privacy, but he made a point of being present. A horseback ride at sunset, a surprise visit with tea during the afternoon, conversations under the stars that stretched into the early morning, and every moment together only intensified that impossible connection. Have you ever ridden in the desert at night? He asked one afternoon. No. Then tonight you will. That devastating smile. Trust me. And I trusted, even without understanding why. We rode under the full moon, the desert transformed into silver around us. It was magical, surreal, like being in another world. We stopped at the top of a dune, and Khalid dismounted, extending his hands to help me. When my feet touched the sand, he didn't let go. Thank you, I whispered, for this. It's beautiful. You're beautiful, he corrected, fingers intertwining with mine. Especially here, under the moon. As if you belong to the desert as much as I do. My heart beat irregularly. Khalid, let me truly know you. He asked, that vulnerability returning. Not the archaeologist, not the scientist. The Layla you hide from the world. And there, under that impossible sky of stars, I opened up, I talked about my childhood, about always being the cerebral one, the one who didn't believe in magic, about losing my mother young and clinging to logic because feelings hurt too much, about how archaeology saved me, concrete evidence, real stories, no fantasy. He listened to everything, and then shared his own pains. When my parents died, I took over the kingdom at 20. Too young, too inexperienced. Everyone expected me to fail. His voice was tense. And for a while I almost did. The pressure, the loneliness, the weight of protecting thousands of people. It was overwhelming. But you didn't fail. No. He pulled me closer. Because I had the prophecy. The promise that one day I'd find my other half. Someone who would complete me. Who would share this weight. Who would make it all worthwhile. Tears stung my eyes. What if I can't be that person? What if I disappoint you? He held my face with both hands, forcing me to look at him. Impossible, because you're already everything I ever needed. His eyes shone. Strong, intelligent, independent. You challenge me. You make me question. You make me want to be better. I'm so afraid, I admitted in a broken whisper, of what I feel for you. It's too intense, too fast. I know. He rested his forehead against mine. But you don't need to be afraid, because I'll love you every day. I'll protect you. I'll give you the world if you ask. I don't want the world. My voice trembled. I just want to know if this is real. Let me prove it is. And then he kissed me. It wasn't gentle. It was hungry, desperate, years of waiting colliding in a single moment. His lips found mine with an urgency that stole my breath, hands burying in my hair, pulling me impossibly close. I responded with the same intensity, fingers gripping his robes, losing myself in that kiss that seemed to rewrite my entire reality. When we finally separated, both panting, he rested his forehead against mine. Do you feel it? He whispered. This isn't just attraction, it's recognition. It's two souls that have waited lifetimes to meet. And God help me, I felt it. Felt it with every fiber of my being. It still scares me, I admitted. I know. He kissed my forehead. But we'll go slow. At your pace. Just don't push me away. Don't fight this, please. I looked into his eyes and saw truth. Real love. Patience. Absolute certainty. Okay, I whispered. Okay. That smile lit up his entire face. My Layla, my moon, my soul. And for the first time, I didn't correct him. Because maybe I really was his. Just as he was mine. The following weeks were a delicate dance between acceptance and resistance. Khalid kept his word. He respected my pace. But he also didn't hide his intentions. He courted me with a dedication that melted every defense I tried to maintain. Thoughtful gifts, not expensive jewelry, but ancient books he knew I'd love. Rare artifacts for my personal collection. Handwritten notes in Arabic, which he taught me to read, each one a poetic declaration of love. You don't give up, do you? I said one afternoon, finding more rare desert flowers in my room. Never. He appeared in the doorway, that confident smile. Especially when I know you're already mine. You're just taking your time accepting it. Arrogant. In love. He approached, fingers brushing my face. And increasingly impatient to make you officially mine. My heart raced. Khalid. Have dinner with me today. Not at the palace, a special place. He took me to a hidden oasis deep in the desert. Crystal clear water surrounded by palm trees, the sky painted in shades of orange and pink with the sunset. It's private, he explained, helping me dismount. Only the royal family knows about it, and now you. Why did you bring me here?" He looked at me with an intensity that stole my breath. "Because I want to share everything with you. My secret places, my dreams, my fears." He held my hands. "I want you to know the man behind the SHEIK, the Khalid that only you will see." We dined by the water's edge, and he opened up in ways that surprised me. He talked about the pressure of being perfect, about sleepless nights worried about his people, about the fear of not being enough. "You're more than enough," I said, holding his hand. "How much you care. That already makes you extraordinary." "You make me extraordinary," he corrected, kissing my fingers. "Before you, I existed. I fulfilled duties, but I wasn't living. Now," his eyes shone, "now I wake up eager to see you. I sleep dreaming of our future. I truly live." Tears filled my eyes. "I feel the same way, and it scares me so much." "Because you're still fighting destiny." He pulled me into his arms. "But you don't need to fight anymore, ya Habibti. You just need to surrender." "What if I surrender and it goes wrong?" "Impossible." He kissed my forehead. "Because this was written before we were born. This is bigger than us." That night, under the stars, lying on carpets by the water's edge, Khalid asked me a question. "Stay with me, not just for now, forever, as my wife, my queen." My heart stopped. "Khalid, I know it's fast for you, but for me, I've waited 15 years. He propped himself on his elbow, looking at me with an intensity that melted me. "And I don't want another day without you by my side. Officially. Completely. I need time to think." Pain flashed in his eyes, but he nodded. "I understand. But know that I'll love you while you think. I'll prove to you every day that this is the right decision." He took me back to the palace, and that night, lying in my bed, I faced the truth. I loved him. Desperately. Completely. The question was I ready to accept that destiny was real? 3 days after Khalid's proposal, my answer came in the most unexpected way. I was examining an artifact when he appeared at the archaeological site, visibly tense. "I need to travel. Political meeting in a neighboring country." He didn't look happy. 3 days. "But I don't want to leave you." "I'll be fine." I tried to sound casual, but my chest ached just thinking about it. He held my face. 3 days without seeing you, without kissing you, without holding you. His voice was hoarse. "It's torture." "Khalid, give me an answer before I go." He begged. "I need to know I have something to come back to." I looked into his amber eyes and saw real love, absolute devotion, an entire future waiting. "Yes," I whispered. He froze. "Yes? Yes, I'll marry you." Tears streamed down my face. Yes to everything. Forever. The smile that lit up his face was devastating. He picked me up, spinning me, laughing like a lovesick teenager. "You just made me the happiest man in the universe." He kissed me, deeply, desperately. My fiancée, my future queen, my soul. When he left hours later, my heart left with him. And I realized I had surrendered completely. Destiny had won. The 3 days were agony. I physically missed him. His constant messages helped, but it wasn't the same as having him near. When he returned, he came straight to my quarters, completely ignoring protocol. "Khalid," I laughed when he picked me up. "People will talk." "Let them talk." He carried me to his room. "You're my fiancé. I have the right to kidnap you." His room was magnificent. Luxurious carpets, silk curtains, an enormous bed, a view of the desert. But I barely registered the decoration. I only saw him, the hunger in his eyes. "I missed you," he whispered, gently laying me on the bed. "Every second without you was torture." I missed you too. I pulled him closer. So much. He kissed me then, deeply. Years of waiting and days of longing colliding. His hands trembled as they caressed my face, my hair, as if he wanted to memorize every detail. I love you, he murmured against my lips. I love you so much. I love you too. The words came easily now, completely. Stay with me tonight, he asked, vulnerability in his eyes. Just sleep in my arms. I need to hold you. I nodded, and he pulled me into his arms, settling us among soft pillows. We stayed there, intertwined, exchanging slow kisses, whispering promises. I'll make you so happy, he promised, fingers tracing my face. I'll adore you every day. Just love me, I whispered. That's all I need. Always. He kissed my forehead. For all eternity. We fell asleep like that, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of the future, because my future had amber eyes and a heart that beat for me. The following morning dawned with Khalid making the official announcement. The Sheik of Zahran is pleased to announce his engagement to Dr. Layla Harrison. The news spread like wildfire. International media. Celebrations in the kingdom. And a ring. A blue sapphire surrounded by diamonds. Ancient. Belonging to his family for generations. It was my grandmother's, he said, sliding it onto my finger. She said one day I'd give it to the woman my soul recognized. And here you are. I cried. Because it was perfect. Because he was perfect. The following days were a whirlwind. Meeting kingdom officials, being introduced as the future queen, initial wedding planning. Are you regretting it? Khalid asked one night, finding me on the terrace. What? Accepting. Embracing destiny. I looked at him. The man who had turned my world upside down, who made me believe in something greater than logic. Not at all. I held his face. In fact, I'm grateful. Because you showed me that some things transcend reason, and this love is worth any madness. He kissed me under the stars, and I knew. I was exactly where I was meant to be. 2 weeks before the wedding, everything fell apart. I was reviewing kingdom documents, part of my training as future queen, when I found references to political conflicts, veiled threats, mentions of factions that didn't support Khalid. What is this? I asked, showing the documents. His expression hardened. Nothing you need to worry about. Khalid. Layla. There's always politics, always dissatisfied people. But I protect what's mine. But 3 days later, the threat became real. I was returning from a visit to the archaeological site when our convoy was intercepted. Armed men, demanding I leave the vehicle. Dr. Harrison, you need to come with us. We have a message for the Sheik. My heart raced, but before I could react, Khalid's security acted. I heard sounds of confrontation outside, raised voices, but within minutes, everything was silent. The door opened. Khalid. The relief on his face when he saw me unharmed was visceral. He pulled me from the vehicle, crushing me against his chest. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? His hands inspected me frantically. I'm fine. I held his face, feeling him tremble. What's happening? Political rivals. His jaw was tense. They wanted to use you against me, but my men handled the situation. Khalid, you're not safe here anymore, he decided. I'm sending you back to... No! I grabbed his robes. Don't send me away. Layla, they threatened you. They would use you to control me. Then let them try. Tears streamed down, because I'm not going anywhere. You said we're destiny, that we were made for each other, so I stay. Here, by your side, no matter the danger. Something broke in his gaze. He kissed me desperately, as if wanting to absorb me. I could have lost you. His voice was broken. And I wouldn't survive that. You won't lose me, I promised, holding him tightly. Never, because heroes sacrifice their love for the world. But we sacrifice the world for our love. He held me as if I would disappear. And that night, he swore the threat would be neutralized. And it was. Through strategic alliances, political agreements, demonstration of strength without violence. Within a week, the rivals had backed down. And I was safe. Safe in the arms of the man who would move heaven and earth for me. Are you sure? Khalid asked for the 1,000th time. Sure you want this life? The dangers, the pressure, the sacrifices? We were at the private oasis, 3 days before the wedding. Full moon illuminating everything. I'm sure of you, I replied simply. And if you come with this life, then I accept everything. My brave Layla. He kissed my forehead. Do you know this changes everything? That you'll become queen? That you'll have enormous responsibilities? I know. I held his face. And I know I'll have you by my side. That we'll do this together. He looked at me with such adoration my heart melted. I made the right choice 15 years ago, he whispered, when I decided to wait, when I kept faith in destiny, because it brought me you. And I made the right choice when I decided to stop fighting. I smiled through tears, when I accepted that some things simply are, that you and I are inevitable. He kissed me under that moon, and I felt the universe conspiring in our favor. 3 days, he murmured. 3 days and you'll be my wife, my queen, officially and forever. I can't wait. And I couldn't. Because finally I accepted. Destiny was real, and mine had amber eyes and a heart that beat in perfect sync with mine. The final wedding preparations were intense but magical. The entire kingdom prepared for the celebration. Flags in the streets, parties being organized, palpable joy in the air. Your people love you, I commented, watching the celebrations from the window. Our people, Khalid corrected, pulling me into his arms. And they already love you too, because they see how happy you make me, how you complete me. The ceremony would be traditional. Ceremonial robes, ancient rituals, vows under the desert sky, and I had fallen in love with every detail. Nervous? He asked the night before. Not at all, I smiled. Eager, yes. I can't wait to be your wife. That devastating smile I loved so much. My wife, my queen, my soul. He kissed each word into my skin. Tomorrow, before God and men, you officially become mine. I'm already yours, I whispered, since the moment we met. And I'm yours. He rested his forehead against mine, for all eternity. The night before the wedding, according to tradition, we stayed separated. But Khalid sent a letter, handwritten in Arabic and English. My beloved Layla, as I write, I miss you as if it's been years, not hours. Tomorrow when I see you walking toward me, I know my heart will stop, because you're everything. Every dream, every prayer, every promise of destiny fulfilled. I'll love you until my last breath. I'll protect you with my life. I'll make you happy or die trying. Thank you for believing, for accepting, for choosing me. Tomorrow begins our forever. Eternally yours, Khalid. I cried reading it, and wrote my response. My beloved Khalid, you transformed my life. You showed me that logic doesn't explain everything, that love transcends reason, that destiny is real. Tomorrow, before everyone, I'll say yes. But my heart already said yes weeks ago. Since that first kiss. Since I stopped fighting. I love you with every piece of my soul. Tomorrow we become one. Eternally yours. Layla. The wedding day dawned perfect. Infinite blue sky. Gentle breeze carrying the scent of desert flowers. Women of the kingdom helped me prepare. Traditional white and gold dress. Delicate henna on my hands. Ancestral jewelry. I looked like a fairy tale princess. But all I wanted was to see Khalid. He hasn't stopped smiling. One of the assistants commented, smiling. Since he woke up, he's radiant. My heart warmed. Me too. When I was finally ready, I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman looking back. Not because of appearance, because of the happiness in my eyes. Ready? They asked. More than ready. The ceremony took place at sunset, in the middle of the desert. Silk carpets spread on the sand. Hundreds of guests. Lit torches creating a luminous path. And at the end, Khalid. He looked majestic in ceremonial white and gold robes, traditional turban, but it was the expression on his face that destroyed me. Tears flowing freely, huge smile. Love so intense in his amber eyes I almost stumbled. I walked to him, and when our hands met, I knew I was home. The vows were in Arabic and English, traditional but personalized. Layla, my moon, my soul. His voice trembled. I waited for you through 15 lonely years, and it was worth every second. Because you're everything. I promise to love you in every life. I promise to protect you with everything I am. I promise to make you happy, or spend eternity trying. You're my destiny, and I am eternally, completely, desperately yours. I was crying when it was my turn. Khalid, my love, my soul. My voice broke. You taught me to believe. In destiny, in love greater than logic, in real magic. I promise to love you with every piece of who I am. I promise to stand by your side in any storm. I promise to build a beautiful life with you. Because you're not just my destiny. You're my choice. Every day, I choose you, forever. When they declared us husband and wife, he kissed me as if we were the only ones in the universe. And technically, we were, because in that moment, only we existed. The celebration was magical. Music, dancing, overflowing joy. But all I saw was him. My husband. My SHEIK. My love. My queen. He whispered, holding me as we danced. My wife. Finally. Finally. I repeated, happiness overflowing. Yours. Forever. Our honeymoon was in an isolated part of the desert. Just us, luxurious tents, the infinite sky. And for the first time, we had all the time in the world to simply be. Happy? He asked, embraced under the stars. More than words can describe. I smiled. You? Complete. He kissed my hair. For the first time in my life, complete. We talked about the future, children we would have, how to balance my passions with queen duties, shared dreams. I want at least 3 children, he said, hands caressing my belly. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. I just want to see mini versions of us running through the palace. 3, I laughed. Ambitious. With you, I want a dozen. He turned me to face him. I want to build an empire of love, a family that's our legacy. Then let's start, I whispered. And we started. Our life together. Our future. Our family. Those 2 weeks were pure love, pure connection, pure destiny fulfilled. And when we returned to the palace, it was to begin our life as king and queen. Together. Forever. 2 years later. Amira, careful, my love. I watched our 1.5-year-old daughter take her wobbly steps through the garden, crystalline laughter filling the air. She was perfect. My brown eyes, Khalid's dark hair, his smile. She's adventurous like her mother. Khalid appeared behind me, protective hands on my 7-month belly. And this one will be the same. Or like his father. I smiled, leaning against him. Stubborn and absolutely certain he's always right. He laughed, kissing my neck. It worked, didn't it? You proved me right in the end. About destiny? I turned in his arms. Yes, you were completely right. Amira ran to us, and Khalid picked her up easily, covering her little face with kisses. My heart overflowed watching them together. Mommy. She extended her little arms to me. Khalid positioned her carefully in my lap, always attentive to my pregnancy. My family, he murmured, enveloping us. My entire world. We sat in the garden, Amira playing between us, and I reflected on the journey. 2 years ago, I was a skeptical scientist who believed in nothing beyond facts. Today, I was Queen of Zaran, wife of the man who always knew we were destined, mother of the most perfect child in the universe, and carrying another miracle. What are you thinking about? Khalid asked softly. About how you were right. I smiled. About everything. About us. About destiny. He pulled me into a gentle kiss, Amira giggling between us. I always knew. He murmured against my lips. Since I saw you, since our eyes met, I knew you were mine. And I fought so hard. I laughed through tears. But in the end, destiny always wins. He completed, holding my face. Because some things simply are. You and I, we were always inevitable. Amira fell asleep in my lap, and Khalid gently carried her inside, returning to help me stand. Come. He guided me to our suite. You and our son need to rest. He laid me down gently, settling beside me, protective hand on my belly. I love you, he whispered. You, Amira, this little one here. You're everything. I love you too. I caressed his face. So much it still scares me sometimes. The intensity of it. It doesn't need to scare you. He kissed my belly. Because I'll love you for all eternity. In every life. In every universe. I fell asleep in his arms, feeling our baby kick, hearing Amira breathe softly in the room next door, enveloped by the love of the man who showed me, destiny is real. I'm his, by destiny, by choice, by love that transcends everything. And I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world. Because heroes sacrifice their love for the world, but he sacrificed the world for me. And this is forever. Because some things are greater than logic, greater than reason. Some things simply are. And we were always destined.